Hello, you're listening to E-Bible Fellowship's new open forum excerpts, and now we present the following excerpt.
Welcome to our open forum program. Please go ahead with your question.
Hey, Chris, hope you're doing well. My question is, now that we're living in the day of judgment and the door to heaven is shut, is it accurate to believe that God is not concerned at all whether or not mankind understands, even on a physical level, that it's judgment day? I know God he takes no pleasure in the death of the wicked, but from time to time, you will hear people in the churches say it's judgment day, or you might hear people randomly saying things. Is it a good statement to say God is not even concerned with what findings mankind is stating, that he no longer has anything to do with the unsaved? Or is he kind of meting out judgment in a very measured way where it's not getting out of control? And so their understanding of what's happening is also being monitored as well.
Well, God isn't, I won't say he's not concerned at all, because I don't know the answer to that, but I do know it's not his focus, as it would probably be our focus if it were our judgment program and we had finally come to the time to bring the judgment, and people have been warned for thousands of years, and man, especially with man's proud and arrogant reaction to the gospel's warnings over the course of time, the kind of thumbing their nose at God, at his word. And of course, the messengers, we were the ones carrying the gospel that received this kind of response. Well, if it was us, we would make sure everyone knew you were wrong. You were wrong all your life, and all that you spoke against God and spoke against his word, and you were just wrong and we were right. That's probably the big reason we would do it this way, because we want to make sure everybody understands we were right and God is not us. That's not his concern. When we read about that word "no" in the Old Testament, in Psalm 9, this is a very revealing scripture. We read in verse 16, Jehovah is known by the judgment which he executeth. He is known. And the implication is he's unknown prior to the judgment that he will carry out or execute. And that has been basically the case throughout time. And God has allowed many, many generations of men to come and go. And again, they raise their fists at him, shake their fists at him in rebellion. And during their lifetime, they could have had a fairly good life, lived even to an old age, and God seemingly took no action against them, and then they die. And so it's just not God's plan for man to be aware or know that the truth or the fact that he is God in a conscious manner or in an intellectual way. I mean, it could be with some people, but overall, in general, vast majority, or a tremendous number, not the vast majority, a tremendous number of sinners have lived and died, and they're dead. They're dead. They're not going to know anything intellectually. They're not going to be reconstituted or returned to life on the last day. They'll be resurrected. That is, they'll rise up. God will raise up their dead bones or ashes or whatever left and just leave them lying on the surface of the earth. There's not going to be any awe or aha. Now I understand. kind of moment with them, they're dead. And it's just a matter of destroying whatever is left of their physical bodies forevermore when the Lord destroys the whole earth and creation. So, with those presently alive upon the earth, well, yeah, people are getting definite inklings, definite thoughts, definite ideas. Something terrible's wrong. Something terrible's wrong. And in the churches, what I notice is they're thinking, well, Jesus is coming soon. Jesus is coming soon. They see just how bad it is, and of course they wouldn't dare say when, because that goes against their mantra that no man knows. But they understand that what they're witnessing has to be end time phenomenon, and they're correct. But as far as it being end time phenomenon, but they're definitely wrong that he's coming soon. He's not coming soon. He's already come. He came first to judge the church. Judgment began at the house of God. He came spiritually, and he used his word, the Bible, as the tool of judgment, the method of judgment. He revealed the judgment of the church on the pages of Scripture and opened up the understanding of his people to it who declared it. And then on May 21, 2011, the judgment transition from the church to the world. Same thing. Christ came spiritually and is using the Bible to carry out the judgment. And so the world has been under the judgment of God. This is the final judgment. This is the judgment that the reader of the Bible has read about down through time or up until our present time. And all that language of the wrath of God and the fiery destruction and so forth is currently taking place, not the last day fiery destruction, literal fiery destruction that will destroy everything and every unsaved person, but spiritual flames are burning across the earth, and God is angry with the inhabitants of the world. He's troubling the nations. Evil is going forth from nation to nation. There's a great spiritual earthquake that is shaking the people of the world and removing the earth, as it were. The mountain of the kingdom of Satan has been lifted up and cast into the sea, as the sea represents the wrath of God. All these figures are now being fulfilled, being carried out, and this is what is causing people this disturbing idea that something is desperately wrong. It's definitely not like it used to be. When you speak to anyone who has any age, 45, 50, 60, 70, and you speak with them, it's a different world. And you find more and more people, oh, they're just longing to go back in time, go back to a simpler time, because they see the dramatic and terrible changes that have come upon the earth, that have happened to the whole world. What has happened to the world? The world's gone mad. And not that long ago, it wasn't that way. And all the time before that, it wasn't that way. There were breakouts of terrible instances of war and famines and even plagues throughout time. But, they were the exception. The normal situation, there was normative life, normative morality amongst the people of the world that you don't find today. And that's the big deal. That's the big deal. The loss of basic morality.
Thanks for watching, and be on the lookout for more new open forum excerpts that will be added periodically.